So the transfer window has slammed shut all around Europe. Aside from the Premier League, the likes of La Liga, Serie A, Liga and the Bundesliga all closed yesterday, meaning there's loads of deals and you guys have put some questions to me. Let's talk about it. Let's go through them. First up from Muxi, who has said, why are there so many loan deals? Could it be because players didn't perform as the club wanted, so now the club wants to test the players good enough? I feel like these are becoming so much more prevalent, and it's basically because of financial fair play. If you look at the Neymar deal that didn't actually go through, it was apparent that Barcelona made a bid of around 35 million to take him on loan for a year just so they could pay the bulk of it, like another 170 or so, next summer. Basically, they've already paid for Frenkie de Jong and a few others this summer, so they want to offset that amount of money so they don't go over fair play regulations. That seems pretty obvious, but in the long run, I think loan deals are becoming more prevalent because, well, players aren't necessarily getting the game time that they need at their club. The other reason that it's happening is because clubs can test out new players. Kardi is the perfect example. Let's be honest, his ego at Inter Milan has taken him to some pretty crazy places. So when he moves to PSG, the French club will be thinking he is brilliant, we know that, but he can also be a massive risk. And let's be honest, the last team that needs more egos in their dressing room is PSG. So if after one season he dicks about and he's super annoying, they just send him back to Inter Milan. And if he doesn't and he's brilliant, they've got an option to buy him for around 65 million euros. It works both ways. Also, the other thing that it is with loans, especially from the selling club, is that it allows them to basically put off the inevitable for another year. A perfect example of this is Coutinho. So he hasn't really got a space in the Barcelona squad at the minute, and let's not forget they were trying to sign Neymar as well. If they had Neymar, Ousmane Dembele, Griezmann, Messi and Suarez, there's no space for Coutinho. But in one season's time, I don't know, Neymar could be off the table, Dembele could be out of form, Suarez could be looking for a move, Messi may even retire. Obviously, it's highly doubtful. But in a season's time, they'll have Coutinho back, they'll have a place for him in the squad, and hopefully he would have had a brilliant year at Bayern Munich. And a few other ones are basically pretty much simply what a loan deal was made for in the first place. Take a look at Dani Ceballos. He's gone to Arsenal to prove that he could be a top-level player. Hopefully Zinedine Zidane will be watching some of the Arsenal matches. He goes back to Real Madrid next summer and bam, he's in the starting lineup. This is actually more prevalent with the likes of the Coutinho one, as next summer Luka Modric will be 35, so there may be a space for him there. The same thing can also go for like Harry Wilson at Bournemouth. Liverpool, get him out on a loan deal for a year, then when he comes back, if he's had a good season, which I think he will do in the Premier League, they can sell him for loads of money because he's not going to break into the front three at Liverpool. So, with that said and done on the loan deals, the next one up from Arthur McKeever has said, is it surprising the world record transfer was not broken? No. In short, it's not surprising at all because there was no one else who was going to break that record from Neymar than Neymar himself. 222 million euros. Apparently the PSG president wanted 300 million. There's no way anyone else can break it. The only player I see breaking that in the future is Kylian Mbappe. He may move to Real Madrid or Barcelona within the next few years. There is no one else who could do this. And what it actually shows is that PSG have screwed themselves over because they are now playing in a transfer market all by themselves. When you bring players in for so much money at such a high price, where do they go after that? The only thing that's going to happen at a PSG transfer when someone leaves the club is that they lose money. It's impossible for them to make money if they buy them so ridiculously high. Neymar's on apparently 700k a week. So once you've got that out of the way, no one's even going to pay that stupid money to try and sign him. Same with Mbappe. And unless they're getting older, retiring, or they're not really worth much, PSG are going to lose a hell of a lot of money in this unsustainable transfer market. So next up from Lewis9933. Which transfer has gone under the radar and surprised you for it? Also the best transfer window outside the big five. Guys, so many teams in Europe have had so many good deals. And whilst we talk about the massive ones, there's actually been some really, really good deals. Celta Vigo have brought in Denis Suarez and Rafinha on loan from Barcelona. Two brilliant attacking midfielders for a team who really struggled up front last season and narrowly avoided relegation. So good from Celta Vigo, as well as this Pablo Fornals at West Ham. A lot was made of Sebastian Haller, but Fornals kind of went under the radar after being brought in from Villarreal. He's really good. Frankfurt as well. Actually, this is one of my favourite. In the same window, Frankfurt have lost Rebic, Haller and Jovic, one of the deadliest front threes in Europe last summer. Haller obviously went to West Ham, Rebic has gone to AC Milan, and Jovic obviously Real Madrid for that massive amount of money. They've replaced him with Bastos and Andre Silva. Silva, I'm not so sure about. He's been at Sevilla and at AC Milan. He looks like a decent player, but hasn't quite reached the heights yet. Bastos knows the Bundesliga inside out and has plenty of goal-scoring exploits to back up this transfer. So I think Frankfurt have actually had a pretty good window, considering you lose your front three. Imagine if Liverpool had lost like Mane, Salah and Firmino. That would be absolutely ridiculous. They'd have to go and sign a whole new front three. Along with this, Abdou Diallo at PSG I think is a brilliant defender for the next few years at least. And Kieran Tierney will come good at Arsenal once he gets fit. So next up, the fourth question on the list from TPA. Do you think Liverpool, just spoken about them, do you think Liverpool could do as well last season without bringing in reinforcements? Yes and no. I think yes, because they didn't lose any players. They still have a fantastic squad. Last season we saw it Champions League winners for the 6th time and runners-up in a ridiculous title race in the Premier League. So you'd like to think yes, but my one question over the team is they didn't face many injury worries. Now, of course, that's credit to the players and credit to the fitness staff and the coaches. But Salah, Alisson and Van Dijk started 38 out of 38 Premier League games. Sadio Mane started 36, meaning he only missed 2. That is very, very unusual for a squad not to face so many injury worries over the season. Think back in previous years, the likes of Vincent Kompany's always missed out massively for Manchester City. Aguero has his injury worries. Harry Kane's always got a problem with his ankles. Mesut Ozil's neither here nor there. Sometimes he's injured, but he's not. The fact that Liverpool managed to keep so many key players fit throughout the whole season is testament to them, but I just would like to see how it goes when one of them does miss a massive portion of the season. They didn't sign anyone also, but much like I think with Spurs and Mauricio Pochettino, Jurgen Klopp is very, very smart, and Liverpool are now in the position where they can go out and buy players that fit the system perfectly. They don't need to panic buy, they don't need to replace quickly at the end of the window. They can identify who they need, where they need it, and go ahead and sign those players. The same thing happens at Manchester City. In the summer, they would have sat down, Pep Guardiola said, Fernandinho's 34, I need a replacement, in comes Rodri. You pick very carefully the transfers you need to make because there's not going to be a massive overhaul each summer, just a few tweaks here and there. Of course, only a few teams are lucky enough to be able to do that, so, you know. But as I say, as with Liverpool, I think they're going to do pretty good this season. There's no reason why they shouldn't. Manchester City, actually a great example. Now that Laporte's out and they didn't bring in a centre-back, could be some issues there. So, lastly but not least, Noisy Sam P has said the Serie A has welcomed a lot of new talent during this transfer window. That it has, but hasn't made the best signings out of the top 5 leagues. You can't really say who's made the best signings out of the leagues because everyone in the league needs something different. But in terms of Serie A welcoming new talent, it's been ridiculous, even on the final day. Over the summer, the biggest names like Mkhitaryan, Rebic, Sanchez, Smalling, Lozano, Ribery, Lasse Schöne, Lukaku, Ligt, Hernandez, Godin, Ramsey, Rabiot, and as well as this, they managed to hold on to the likes of Koulibaly instead of a massive switch to the Premier League or La Liga. I think it's amazing for Serie A. I honestly think they have had the best transfer window because, well, there's a few reasons for it. I'm not entirely sure why it is, but firstly, it could be the Ronaldo factor. You may hate Cristiano Ronaldo, but you can't deny that him moving to Serie A has not only brought much more attention worldwide, which means a lot more money for the Serie A clubs to be then able to compete with the wages that are being offered in the Premier League or in La Liga. But it also means that the standard of the league is going to get a bit higher as teams are going to want to compete with Ronaldo and Juventus to stop them from running away from it. Along with this, and this is actually what I think it is, it's a massive challenge. Knocking Juventus off top spot is a huge, huge challenge. Firstly, for the managers, who've always got pretty big egos, the likes of Antonio Conte and Carlo Ancelotti are literally trying to take their former club off top spot. Conte enjoyed all the success with Juve. Ancelotti was there for a few years and enjoyed success too. And now they're up against Mauricio Sarri, who's fending off his old club in Napoli. So there's a massive, massive draw for managers to go there and try and achieve this. And the same thing goes with players. They did amazing, Juventus, to bring Matthijs de Ligt in over the summer. Was Ronaldo a part of that? Who knows? He definitely had offers on the table at PSG and Barcelona on a lot more money and historically bigger clubs around Europe. Maybe not PSG, but Barcelona especially. As for elsewhere in the division, I just think that teams are looking more and more expansive and being able to draw in more players abroad. There is another theory that I have. It's probably not true. I just think loads of players of this generation would have grown up watching incredible Italian leagues and players. Imagine when all the players that play now were kids in like the 90s and they had like Roberto Baggio to watch, and then growing up Juventus and AC Milan were dominating the Champions League scene. Maybe that just pulls on their heartstrings a little bit. Not saying it's completely truth, but how many times do you hear a player sign for a club and say, Manchester United was everything I watched when I was a kid. I love David Beckham, or Barcelona's been my dream since I was a kid. Same thing could be happening in Italy and Serie A. Definitely not fact. Of course, you guys let me know your thoughts. On top of this, you can let me know all your thoughts about the rest of today's transfer talk. Is Serie A really going to be the next massive league? What do you make of all the signings in the Premier League? And what will happen in this season's Champions League? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below. And you can also smash the like button. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe whilst you are down there. Of course, you can click here or here to check out the other videos we've got going on. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.